My name is Patrick, and I'm $60,000 in debt, but my only goal for 2024 is to pay it off in 1 year.
I'm 35 years old and in $169,292.74 of debt, and I still live at home with my parents.
Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about student debt because gross. Let's get into this.
I'm 35 years old and in $169,292.74 of debt, and I still live at home with my parents. And you might as well bump that up to $266,722.97 in debt if you add in how much I will pay in interest. I started aggressively looking at my debt in January and truly didn't know the full financial picture until I got it all down on paper. Debts include 2 private student loans, 10 federal student loans, 1 auto loan, 1 private loan, and 13 credit cards. I've already taken some drastic measures to reduce spending and start side hustling. I started posting my debt payoff journey here on TikTok in hopes of growing and getting into the creator fund. So if you made it this far, thanks so much for watching and following. I'm selling my debt tracking template, I'm door dashing, donating plasma, selling items around the house, and doing TikTok shop to try and make it. Made some really good progress so far thanks to an annual bonus I got from my 9-to-5 job, but I've got a long way to go. I've been able to negotiate most of my interest rates on my credit cards down with the help of a debt management plan, but the interest on my student loans is wild. My 2 private student loans have interest rates of 12.75% and 8.9%, while my federal loans range from 5.8 to 6.6%. The private student loans are from my undergraduate degree, which I earned over 15 years ago. I would probably puke if I knew how much I had already paid. And to this day, I think about all the frivolous things I bought and did when I was in my teens and 20s with this money, and wow, if I would have known I would be paying for tank tops and fun nights out at bars 1,000 times over the next 15 years, I might have made some different choices. Even though I've already paid off about $31,000 of debt so far this year, I'm still not looking at being debt-free until 2040. I honestly cannot imagine another 15 years of paying on this debt, especially with so many other life milestones I want to achieve, like buying a house and having kids. I also just got engaged, and it truly makes me sick thinking about how I am bringing more than $150,000 of debt into our marriage starting out. This is not a video to complain by any means because these were my own choices and I'm working to pay back what I owe, but I hope sharing this can resonate with others, and if you want to follow along on the journey and like and follow and share and all that fun stuff, that would be great.
Sorry for the weird bubble thing in the middle, but $266,000 of debt, she said, with the interest rate. That is appalling. That is so gross. Obviously, that's not all her student debt. As she mentioned, she also had credit card debt and debt for a car as well. Ouch. At least she's taking accountability that they were her choices and she does have to pay them back. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who don't think that way. I hate to break it to you. When you take out loans for anything, it's on you. Okay? Yeah, I wish her the best of luck with that and her marriage. Oh my God. I don't know about you, but watching that, maybe it's just hot in my room, but it made me hot. I feel hot, just like I'm stressed out for her. Let's go to the next one.
Over $300,000 in student loans. Let me tell you how. So I'm a nurse practitioner. My husband is a pharmacist. My husband went to private school for his entire pharmacy school. I went to a public university for my nursing degree and then a private school for my nurse practitioner degree. We both took out student loans for everything. You know, at 18, you think you're going to be able to pay everything back because both of those jobs make good money. So why am I complaining? This economy is just so expensive right now. I know it's our fault, I guess, for taking out all these loans, but I would love to be able to pay them off. So here I am on TikTok working to have extra income. So I would love if you follow me along on this journey to paying off our loans and just, you know, living life the best we can in the current circumstances. So tell me how much you owe in student loans, and if
300,000 is absolutely insane. I like the last one we just saw was obviously bad, bit right. 300,000. What Ivy League school did she go to? I wish her and her husband the best of luck too. Anybody who has debt at all, I wish you the best of luck in paying it off, because that sucks. I have issues sleeping at night thinking about the money we owe to get a $250 PlayStation 5 out of a pawn shop, because my mom pawned it and she decided to use the money for the water bill, right? Obviously, I helped pay, but we haven't been able to get it out. And it's hers. She won it from donating plasma. So she didn't even pay for it, just so we're clear. But just that $250, it keeps me up. It makes me so uncomfortable thinking about that payment. $300,000 would drive me insane. It would drive me insane. Let me know what your student loan debt is if you have any in the comments. I want to know. I did go to college. I don't have any student loan debt. Thank God. I'll get into that in a little bit. Look at the comments here real quick. 33K here, which is a lot here to support. I mean, they have a much better shot of paying theirs off, so I wish them the best of luck. The comment above it, 150,000. And living in California, which is obviously extremely expensive, where rent and cost of living is insane. Yup, we're moving into a studio soon just to be able to pay it off. I don't know how moving into a studio is going to help you pay off $150,000 when you're living in California. Good luck. I don't think that's going to work. Nope. I'm sorry. Everybody's got to do more, unfortunately. It sucks that everybody has to do more, but we all have to do more to get out of debt, to pay our bills. Everything sucks right now. Everything is overpriced. Student loans are absolutely ridiculous. Let's go to the next video before I get more upset with this one. Hopefully the last one is a little less stressful on me. Because, Jesus. Okay.
I'm gonna do another student loan payment of $30 today. We're doing $30 today for my loan preview, and we are going to submit that payment. Girl, we did it. Another $30 payment. I try to pay at least $30 a day, around $7.99 per month, $800. And so by doing $30 each day for 31 days, it's $930. So I'm paying over the required amount. So if you have a lot of credit card debt or even student loan debt, it's so much easier to pay it off in bite size every single day rather than paying such a huge amount monthly. We are being financially responsible.
Okay. See, that's a much more positive video. I mean, not her debt. 187K is insane, right? I mean, they're all insane. They're all crazy, crazy amounts. I thought she was only paying $30 a month when I first clicked on this. Okay, $30 a day. That's not too bad. And she said she's paying a little bit over, right, which will help her get those paid off quicker, which is good. That's good. She has $7.99 a month. That's crazy, dude. I couldn't afford $800 a month. There's no way. There's no way. Look at these comments. I owe like $100 a month now, but I pay $700 a month because I just want them gone and it hurts my feelings. I'm down 15K and have 10K to go. All right. That's a good comment. I like that one. I've already forgiven my student loans, so the government better follow suit. That man's going to get his wages garnished for sure. Absolutely. At least that's a positive one. If you can afford to pay $30 a day or whatever, something that will help you pay a little bit more than your monthly payments, please do it. Please do it. Let me go to the next one.
My casket will have a file cabinet for all these student loans to rest in heavenly peace. That's how much I owe in student loans. How much money I owe in student loans. Now let me provide you with some additional information, since I know that this video is going to go viral because people are cruel and a lot of people are going to be ready to attack me in the comments and judge me and do whatever they got to do to feel good about themselves. I am a proud 25-year-old with over $100,000 in student loan debt. I went to school. I got a free associate degree through the early college program. I then furthered my education and got 2 additional degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship with a minor in management, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership. But one thing America doesn't know about me is that I have 1 additional degree that's not on file and it's not in the records anywhere, and that's a law degree. At any given point, I'm prepared to take the stand and explain why I cannot afford to pay a dime on them student loans. Baby, you ain't never seen a sharp, undegreed attorney like me ever in your life.
Okay. I'm gonna go back real quick just to hear what those the actual degrees were real quick.
Degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship with a minor in management, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership. But
Okay, useless. Those are useless degrees. What are you talking about? She said entrepreneur leadership. I know I heard leadership. Hold on.
master's degree in organizational leadership. But one thing America doesn't know about degrees. I have a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship with a minor in management, and I have a master's degree in organizational leadership.
Organizational leadership. Entrepreneurship was a bachelor's degree. Dumb. Those are dumb. And if you're gonna go to college for something dumb, you're not gonna succeed. Okay? I went to college. I wouldn't say my degree was dumb, but I'm not gonna pretend that it's helped me either. In the sense that for mine is more like a stepping stone. It's just a stepping stone to get me to an actual degree. Maybe I'll go over that in the next video, but let me read these comments real quick. You have a worthless degrees, thank you, and you don't have to have a law degree just to pass the bar. Prisoners do it all the time. Handle your responsibilities. You know, I think he's right. I think he's correct on that. Some prisoners do actually do that. So he's right. This other one, if people didn't take student loans, we wouldn't have engineers, doctors, nurses, etc. Education is so important. There's a shortage in so many fields because people can't afford higher education. That is true. If we were to consider the past, perhaps people didn't have to have degrees. They just kind of decided they wanted to be something and did it. And they just kind of did research on their own, right? Like that's like the original doctor or engineer, etc. I think degrees are good just because obviously you're getting educated by somebody who has more experience and knows what they're doing, and it's proper, and we can kind of vet people that way. But yeah, I mean, right? Some of these jobs you really don't need degrees for. You really don't need degrees for. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen with this chick? Do you think she's going to be able to not pay that 100K student loan? I think she's getting her wages garnished. I'm going to be honest. If she were to file for bankruptcy, right? Just because she filed for bankruptcy doesn't mean she would get rid of those student loans either. She might be able to pay less at a more manageable level, but bankruptcy would probably still not just wipe the slate clean. I don't know. What do you think about that one in particular? Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't, please click subscribe and like the video. Let's go to the next one.
I paid off $70,000 of student loan debt in 3 years and 5 months, and I wanted to share what actually helped me. I'm gonna give it to you straight because I think there's a lot of debt advice on the internet that frankly just sucks. There has to be a spread between your income and your expenses at the end of the day. It is a mathematical equation. If you make just enough to cover your bills and you do not have any excess whatsoever, paying off debt is going to be difficult. You have to pull back your expenses or increase your income so that you have extra to put on your debt. That's just what it is at the end of the day. I personally use the avalanche method, so I started with the debt that had the highest interest rate. I just wrote out all of my loans, picked the one with the highest interest rate, and I made minimum monthly payments on all of them and then put excess or extra funds onto the one with the highest interest. One thing that was super motivating to me because I was like, wow, $70,000 is definitely a lot of student debt. To me, it felt totally feasible though, because I just knew myself and I knew I would hustle for it. But I used a student loan calculator to write out, okay, here's all the loans that I have. How much of a difference is it gonna make if I make excess payments on some of this debt? Like how much faster can I get out of debt? How much interest is it gonna save me? And that was super motivating to me. I also looked at the opposite of like, if I just make minimum payments for the entire 10 years that I have these loans, how much will I be paying in interest? And for me, I believe it was about $10,000. That didn't scare me. So it was actually motivating to kind of flip it and be like, okay, how much faster can I get out of debt? Because I didn't want debt for 10 years. I think the other part of this, and the part where I think people struggle, is increasing your income is going to help you get out of debt faster if you're putting that increased portion, like the amount you just added to your income, towards your debt. So that was what my primary focus was, not cutting my expenses back, although I did. I literally my entire budget for like fun, dining, entertainment, shopping, if I wanted to get my hair done, if I wanted to buy shampoo and conditioner, was $400 a month for a very long time. And I put every extra dollar that I had onto my debt. I also worked 70 hours a week to build a business and then also had like a side hustle to keep money coming in so that I could make enough to pay my debt and grow a business and do all the things and then make more. So it will be a grind if you want to get out of debt faster. It literally will be a grind. But we talk about this a lot on our podcast. Having a dedicated period of imbalance can actually catapult you forward. So commit to that. Like, yes, it's not going to be fun, but if it's just a dedicated time that you're like, okay, for the next 6 months, I'm going to commit to a life of imbalance and just go ham, you'll probably get out of debt a lot faster.
That's good advice. I like this video a lot, actually. That's a positive one. There's a comment here. I paid $90K in 3.5 years. I still have $56K left, which is a lot. But they managed to pay $90K off in 3.5 years, which is pretty good. This is also a good comment too, though. But what was your salary? I live at home and have about $50K in loans. Gross. But I can barely make it decent because my current salary post-tax is $22 a month. My monthly expenses are about $1,100 without going out. Okay. So obviously this person is going to have to get like a side gig too, probably, or work more. And that's usually the solution for most people, right? You just have to work more. Unfortunately, it sucks, or you have to get an extra job, which sucks. So something like me, I'm trying to sell wood projects I've been working on. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos, right? Trying to get something to sell, and nothing is sold yet. Granted, I'm working on it. I'm trying. At least I'm trying. You got to try something. You've got to do something in an attempt to make extra money. It's really the only way to pay off debt, get out of whatever hole you're in, have a better life. If you can save some money a little bit at a time. It'll help. I know I still haven't talked about my college experience, but we'll go to the next one and then I'll do it.
I'm in my second year of medical school, and this is my current student debt, $191,000, and it literally goes up by hundreds every single day. And I currently have $8 in my bank account. It's like about $100,000 a year. And I think just right now in my mind, it's not real money, because if I think of it that way, then I'm just going to freak out every single day. So I honestly try not to think about it as much as I can and just trust that I'll be able to pay it off one day. I also know there are a lot of like programs that you can enroll in now to try to help alleviate that debt, but I just think it's outrageous how we're paying them to do service jobs that so little people want to do. And this is the reason why they don't want to do them, because like you get into your career and then you have $500,000 of debt. Mind you, I'm going to accrue more than $200,000 by the end of this. It's like I'm paying to give up so many years of my life to work for free, to help other people who need it, to go to underserved areas. Like, I'm paying you to do that. If anything, there should just be no payment at all. But I'm like just trying not to stress about it, because if I think about it, then I'm just going to freak out. So, yeah.
Okay. First of all, she's trying to become a nurse. Obviously not the easiest profession. Long hours, right? Especially when you're just starting out, you work a ton. I do know a couple nurses. Yeah, that can be rough. I don't think schooling should be free. I'm sure that would probably upset some people, but I don't think it should be free, because if it's free for the student, the taxpayer is going to be paying for it, because somebody's going to be paying for it, and it's not going to be the government. So it's going to be you. I hate to break it to you. And it's a choice that the student is making to go to school. It's so that way they can get a better job and make more money, right? Like at the end of the day, that is the main purpose of school. So I don't think it should be free. I do think it should be less, like significantly less cost, but it shouldn't be free. And that's to say, from somebody who has actually, I've been on financial aid. So when I went to college, I had financial aid, paid for all of my associates, 2 years, completely paid off. I didn't have to pay a thing because I was poor enough to get the full amount. Bachelor's, it didn't pay off the full amount. I had to pay out of pocket when I went to school, when I went to work, for my bachelor's, I had to pay out of pocket. Also, sorry for the camera. I know it's doing a little bit of a glitchy bull. I can't control it. But with schools, you can talk to them, and you can have it set up to where you go a semester and you pay them for that semester, and you can't go to the next semester until that semester is paid off. That's how I did it. And I paid, like I said, out of pocket, which was, I think, maybe like $1,200 a semester. for me because I still had financial aid, the full amount. If I didn't, it would have been like maybe 5,000, 4,000, somewhere around there a month, which is still a lot. That's something I couldn't afford myself for sure. But I didn't have to get any debt. I didn't have any debt. So I'm just saying it's an option. Look into it. If you're going to school, check with your school, see if there's an option where you can basically, like I said, just pay for that semester before you go to the next one. No debt. I don't have any debt. I certainly recommend it. And it's going to be harder the higher up in grades you go. Let's go to the next video.
$103,000 in student loan debts. I think the government took advantage of me. I didn't know any better. I was a first-generation graduate, grew up in a small town, poor town, used to shop at the dollar store for clothes. I didn't understand the ramifications of borrowing money from the government and had no one to explain it to me. Reading a document wasn't enough because I didn't make that connection that I needed of how serious it was borrowing money from the government. I literally thought, oh my God, I'll be making $30,000 as a teacher. I can afford to pay that off. Nobody told me that $30,000 wasn't a lot of money. It's because the people I grew up with didn't even make that. So to them, that was a lot of money. Man, the system failed us. So no, I'm not going to pay them back. You took advantage of me. Now that last $23,000, I'll pay that back because I knew better then. I knew what I was doing. So I'll pay that back. But the other $83,000, nah, y'all took advantage of me. So I don't know where you're going to get it from, but you ain't going to get it from me. No, sir.
Okay, that's bad advice. She should definitely pay it back because her garnishes will get waged, and that's going to hurt a lot more. And the interest rate's probably just going to keep going up. I don't know if she has a cap on that. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's bad advice. I mentioned a little bit earlier how I have a bachelor's degree. Mine is in psychology. And like I said, I wouldn't say mine is useless. Mine is like a stepping stone. The job I have currently, you don't even need a bachelor's degree for it. You need a high school diploma. It is in the realm of psychology, but you don't need a bachelor's degree. Most psychology jobs, you need a master's degree, which I obviously don't have, which is unfortunate. And I've considered going back to school. I'd like to go back to school, but I don't want any debt. So I'm trying really hard to avoid that. If I have no other choice, that is what I will do, because I know I will get paid more, and I'll just be like that other lady who paid it off in 3.5 years. Just pay extra. Hopefully I won't have too many. Again, I'm trying to avoid that. I'm going to try to avoid that as hard as I can. As hard as I can. I was going somewhere with this, but I got distracted. Oh my God. But yes, you go to college to get a degree, to hopefully get a better job and hopefully get paid more. $30,000 a year, it's not a lot. That is not a lot of money. Nope. Teachers do not get paid enough. You need to get a better degree. I'm sorry. Or you need to get a side gig or something. Some kind of other hustle. That's just the world we live in right now. It sucks, but it's the truth. Like I said, I'm trying to do some side hustle. I'm trying this. I'm trying YouTube. If I can get this working, I can make some money, right? Hopefully. And then I can try and attempt to do more stuff, which is the same thing I'm trying to do with the woodworking. If I can get that stuff to sell, I'm going to use that money and invest it in something that I will hope will make me more money. Got to try to make wise decisions. Got to think about it beforehand. Let me go to the next video because I feel like I'm just going to rant more about that, and I don't want to. Let me just go to the next one.
I've got $87,000 of student loans, and now the government is like, pay up, no mercy, no support. This country sets us up for failure. They handed out student loans to 18-year-olds with no real-world guidance, and now they're shocked that we're drowning? And we even...
Okay, I'm just going to pause it real quick. Okay, I knew before I went to college, even though I got financial aid, I knew about debt, right? I was aware of it. I knew how debt worked right? You get paid money, which you can use right now, that you have to pay back, because that's how debt works. You don't have to be a genius to know that. It doesn't matter that you're 18. You should know that already. I hate to break it to you. That's not an excuse. Oh, I was 18. I didn't know better. You probably didn't think ahead of time, but you definitely knew better.
Talk about the interest, because my interest rate is about 6% on my student loans. That's after I consolidated them. It used to be 6.5%. My 87,000 used to be about 65,000. With the way that interest is on my student loans, it is growing faster than I can even pay it off. And now they're gonna garnish wages, wreck us, and punish us while refusing to cap interest rates or fix the system. It's not justice, it's exploitation.
Okay, not exploitation. Again, you knew what you were signing up for. You have to look into those things ahead of time. That's on you. I'm sorry, but come on. Come on. Yes, I do think everything should be lower in price. Everything is definitely overpriced as hell. And it's obviously not just student loans, it's every kind of loan. It's groceries right now. Everything is overpriced and ridiculous. But come on. You had to know ahead of time what you were getting into, because you knew that getting a degree gave you a higher chance of getting a better job. Obviously, you don't even need to go to college to make good money, right? You can get a vocational skill and get a good job. Vocational jobs like pay a ton. They pay so much money. I wish I had training. I have no training basically in anything except for welding. I had a little bit of welding training, but it wasn't a profession I wanted to take. So that's another thing too, right? You have to decide if it's something you actually want to do. I didn't want to do welding. I don't really regret it. Again, I don't really have debt besides the PlayStation in the pawn shop. That's the closest thing to debt that I have, and that's not even my debt. It's my mom's. So still, I'm just saying, personal choice. You made it. You have to know better. Interest rates should be at a cap. I agree with that, at least. That's probably the one thing I agree with in this video. Definitely needs to be lower. Nonsense. Nonsense. Let me go to the next video. Probably the last video. I'm losing my mind here.
My name is Patrick, and I'm $60,000 in debt, but my only goal for 2024 is to pay it off in 1 year. Today, we are talking strategy. Like I said in my last video, I have 4 separate loans, each with a different principal and interest rate. For the past year, I put about 25 or 26% of all of the money that I made from brand partnerships and TikTok directly towards my student loans. In 2023, I was following what's called the avalanche method. So I was putting all of my extra payments towards the loan with the highest interest rate, which is supposed to save you the most amount of interest money over time. But it doesn't feel like you're making progress. In 2024, I'm gonna do the complete opposite. It's called the snowball method, and focus on paying off the smallest principal first. And I imagine you feel like you're making progress. You can actually see the amount go down drastically. I also plan on increasing the percentage of the income that I make from this TikTok account towards student loans by decreasing the amount I'm putting towards savings and investments. Not entirely, because I still want to be able to build up a small emergency fund. And I'm also slightly decreasing the percentage that I'm putting towards my 401k and allocating that towards student loans. That's my plan right now. I don't have specific numbers to show on screen, but I get paid monthly. So at the end of every month, I'll do a full-on breakdown and how I'm allocating all my money and show the difference in principal, so we can see where I'm at any point of the year. I'm excited. I think we can do this. It's gonna be hard, and that's okay, because I gotta pay them off.
Okay. Well, I like the last video. I wish Patrick the best of luck. I think the avalanche method is better than the snowball method, but I guess it would also depend on the debt that he has. If some of his debt is obviously very small, right? We'll say like 600 maybe, which that's still a lot of money to me. But I mean, in terms of debt, when we look at all the debt we've seen so far, that would be small, right? If you were to pay that off, that would be a nice chunk you don't have to worry about. So maybe that'll help him out. If he has small debts, I definitely think you should do that first and then just continue with the avalanche method and pay it off. Tell me, do you have student loan debt? What is the amount? Have you ever had it? Did you manage to pay it off? Did you do something to just completely avoid it? I know I've seen some videos, right, where some people mention basically they just keep going to college so that way they don't have to pay off the debt. They're just continuously going to school. Which, I mean, I guess that's one way to avoid the debt. I guess. I wouldn't do it, but that's certainly a route. I don't think TikTok's going to help him out a whole lot. I know TikTok pays you money, but it's not much. I don't think anybody should be relying on TikTok for money. Just for contrast, right? If I can get this YouTube channel monetized and I can make money from it, potentially could be making like thousands of dollars a video at the same amount of views that he has for a TikTok video, right? You get paid almost nothing for TikTok at all. So to anybody who's thinking about trying to make some money from some kind of media, please go with YouTube. Go with YouTube. It's the one that pays the most. And while you're at it, you can obviously put it on multiple platforms, TikTok, Rumble, Instagram video, I guess. Just different routes. I'm only using YouTube right now. I'm a little lazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's my fault. Hopefully I can work on that. But yeah, please let me know about the student debt if you have any. Do you make money from TikTok? I'm actually curious now that I brought it up. Is it a decent amount? Because everything I've seen is it's terrible. It looks like it's basically nothing. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it still seems kind of like nothing. Doesn't really seem like it's worth the effort to me. Let me know. Did you get a useless degree? Be honest. Are you going to do something with it? Are you going to go further down the road? Like I said, I feel like mine is a stepping stone. I want to go back to college and get a master's degree. I'd like to get a PhD if I fucking can. Pardon my French. But right now, that's not in the cards. I want to avoid the debt. I want to save up money if I can. Right now, that's a struggle, but we'll see. Hopefully, I can get that down the road. Let me know in the comments. Student loan, do you have any? What was it? Did you pay it off? What do you think? Do you think the world's screwed? Do you think we're all doomed? Do you think we're all doomed? Was I too far away from the microphone when I was saying that? Hopefully, you picked it up. If you liked the video, please click subscribe. Like the video. Help me out. I'm trying to grow this channel. Again, monetize. I want money too. Help me out. Okay? Thank you. Good luck. Peace.